Good. Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. So let's start the class. So So let's continue the class. So in last lecture we discussed about the deployment models of cloud computing, and we have seen there are four deployment models in cloud computing, which defines the scope and accessibility of the services. And those models were the public cloud, private cloud, community cloud, and the hybrid cloud. And the public cloud is generally available for all the persons publicly. Okay, so anybody can access that public cloud from anywhere, anytime. And this public cloud may be commercialization based, or maybe yeah, it may be rented, or it sometime it may be some services of it may be some free. Then we talk about the private cloud. So private cloud is particularly dedicated for a particular organization or for a particular people. So the private cloud is there, which is generally hosted inside the boundary of an enterprise. So private cloud is there, and the private cloud is also known as the dedicated cloud and the internal cloud. Then we talked about the community cloud, which is particularly developed for a particular group of people or for the particular group of organizations. So that community cloud generally have the or the users of the community cloud have the same mission, same security goals, same privacy issues, same access services. So the ultimately objectives of the community cloud users are same, and the community cloud is basically designed for the particular group of peoples or particular group of organizations. Then we talk about the hybrid cloud computing, hybrid cloud model. So in hybrid cloud, uh, hybrid cloud provides the combination or the composition of all these service models. So in hybrid cloud, if you want to access some services in the private mode, then you may access the services in the private mode. If you want to access some services in the public mode, you can access that service in the public mode. And I have given an example to show you okay, to explore you how to understand this hybrid cloud. So suppose that if you have developed an application and you want to host it on the public cloud, easily you can host it on the public cloud, but you want to store the data of the user, and that data may be your very critical data. So you naturally you will store that data to the private cloud. So if you are ultimately if you are going to run that application and you want to store the application, you require two things. So one service from the private cloud and one service from the public cloud. So in this case you can adopt the hybrid cloud, where you can host your application on the public cloud, as well as you can integrate the database from the private cloud. Okay, so right now we have seen these kind of things to understand the deployment models in cloud computing. Now we will see the architecture of cloud computing. So let's continue. Okay. So till now, you also I think, yeah, you already have seen may be seen several architectures may be there. So in cloud, every service provider have the different cloud computing architecture, but uh, all those architectures which are exist in the market, all those architectures are follow the standards of this generic or high level cloud computing reference architecture. So this is the high level or generic architecture of the cloud computing system, which you can see here. And this architecture is given and defined by the National Institute of Standard Technology (NIST), which defined this architecture in the generalized and universal way. So, as many number of architectures which are exist in the market, all those architectures follow the uh, standard of this architecture. So this is a very high level cloud computing architecture which is have been developed by segregating the uh, several roles and or responsibility of each service provider. So yes, there are five major cloud consumers. One is the cloud. Yes, there are mainly five agents or the five actors are there, like cloud consumer, cloud provider, cloud broker, cloud auditor, and the cloud carrier. So these are the five major actors in this architecture, and these actors have their roles, responsibilities, activities, and functions in cloud computing. And in order to understand all the things in the detail, we will try to understand the requirements, usage, characteristics, and the standards of the cloud computing. So, if you talk about the cloud major component, which is or the cloud provider, so this is one of the main actor of service provisioning. So cloud provider is there, which provides the services by deploying the data centers across the worldwide. And this cloud service provider is responsible for deploying the infrastructure, deploying the software, hardware, and whatever the resources required for enabling the services. So cloud service provider is responsible for hosting, for installing the services in the cloud, and the several responsibilities are there which are carried out or which are cared about uh, by the cloud service provider. Like this service orchestration is there, cloud service management is there, security and privacy related things are there. So these are the things which are managed by the service provider. And the cloud consumer is there, which cloud consumer may be any individual, maybe any enterprise, maybe any organization, or sometime the cloud broker may be the cloud consumer. So cloud consumers are there, or cloud consumer is there, which basically consumes the services from the cloud service provider. And cloud broker is there, which works as the intermediary between the cloud service provider and this service consumer. So this cloud broker basically play an role of intermediary entity. So whenever the cloud consumers require the services from the cloud service provider, they generally contact to the cloud broker, and cloud broker communicates with the cloud service provider to provide the services to the consumer. So in order to provide the services to the users, so cloud broker performs these activities like service intermediation, service aggregation, and the service arbitrage. So these are the responsibilities of the cloud provider. And cloud auditor is there, which audits the performance of the cloud service, and not only the performance, but it also audits the security and privacy impact of the system. So cloud auditor is there, which audits the system to assess the performance of the system, to assess the security and privacy of the system. And cloud carrier is there, which is responsible for uh, delivering or transferring the services from one end to the another end. So let's see about all those things into the detail. So cloud consumer is a person or an organization that maintains a business relationship with the users services from the cloud provider. And the cloud providers is a person or an organization or an entity which is responsible for making a service available to the interested parties. And cloud auditor is there, which is the another party that can conduct the independent assessment of cloud services, information system operation, performance, and security of the cloud implementation. So these are the responsibilities of cloud auditor. Cloud broker is there, which is the another entity that manages the use, performance, and delivery of cloud services. And it negotiates relationship between cloud providers and cloud consumers. So cloud carrier is there, which is another intermediary that provides the connectivity and transport of the cloud services from cloud service provider to the cloud consumer. So cloud carrier is there, which is responsible for transporting the services from one server from the service provider to the service consumer. So these are the communication path between the among the these entities. So if the cloud consumer want to access the services, then the cloud consumer may communicate with the cloud broker, and cloud broker will communicate with the cloud provider to provide the services to the cloud consumer. So cloud communicating with the cloud broker is one way to access the services, and cloud broker will list out the services from the cloud service provider, and according to the usage or the demand of the cloud consumer, the cloud broker will allocate the services to the cloud consumer. And the cloud broker, if want to access the services directly, then the cloud broker again may communicate directly with the cloud provider to access the services. So cloud provider may access the services directly from the cloud consumer, and cloud auditor is there, which is which responsible for auditing to the system, like the security of the system, privacy of the system, and the performance of the system. And to assess the overall all these things, the cloud auditor may communicate directly to the cloud consumer, and it may communicate with the cloud provider, and may communicate with the cloud auditor. So all these or the cloud auditor may directly communicate to assess the performance, to assess the security and privacy concerns in cloud computing domain. So these are the just communication paths among these entities to carry out the different operations uh, in the cloud computing domain. So we have these several scenarios here. So how they will communicate. So okay. So generally, as I already told you, the cloud consumer communicate with the cloud broker instead of contacting to the cloud provider directly. Okay. So cloud consumer will contact to the cloud broker, and cloud broker will communicate with the different service provider to mess up or to design or to make ready the new services by combining the multiple services from the different existing services. So sometime if cloud broker want to enable you the new services by aggregating the different services from the different cloud service provider, then cloud broker may communicate with the n number of cloud service provider. So here the cloud provider may be n number of cloud providers may be there. So in this scenario, the actual service providers are not visible to the cloud consumer, and cloud consumer never knows who is providing the services actually. So this is the one way how the services are uh, collected, or how the services are accessed from the service provider. So there is a cloud broker which works as the intermediary entity between the cloud consumer and the cloud service provider. And the scenario 2 is there where the cloud consumer communicate directly with the cloud provider, and here the cloud provider and cloud consumer sign an SLA, which is the SLA 1 service level agreement 1. And in this SLA, the cloud provider mentions the performance level, security and privacy issues, and some penalties for the system failure or the service failure. So several things which we have discussed earlier are mentioned in this SLA 1. So cloud uh, consumer and cloud provider first, after after the service aggregation, they signs this SLA 1, and this SLA defines the quality of service which will be allocated to the cloud consumer, and the cloud provider also agreed or signed an SLA with the cloud carrier for transporting the services within the estimated time or within the given time. So another SLA is there, which is the SLA 2, which is agreed with the or signed with the cloud carrier. So cloud provider may request to the cloud carrier to provide the dedicated and encrypted connections to ensure the cloud services or cloud SLAs. So this is the scenario 2 where the cloud consumer and cloud provider may communicate to each other. And the scenario 3 is there where the cloud consumer, cloud broker are there, and the cloud auditor is there. Here the cloud auditor may communicate directly to the both the entities to assess the operation and the security of the cloud service. And this audit process may involve the interaction with both of the cloud consumer and the cloud provider. And this is the third scenario of how these entities may communicate. So normally cloud consumers, access the services by using the browsers and use the services. And consumers setups the contract with the cloud provider, and cloud consumer after specifying the out after signing the SLA, and this SLA basically covers the quality of service which will be delivered, you security and remedies for failure of the remedies for the performance failure. And this SLA is also consist of some privacy pricing and okay sorry. So this SLA also consists of several policies or the terms and conditions which will be imposed on the service provider in case of service failure. So these policies are also mentioned in this SLA. So on the behalf of the kind of services that the consumers may access, consumers are also categorized into these categories like the SaaS consumer, PaaS consumers, and the IaaS consumers. So PaaS consumers consumes the platform as a service, business intelligence, deployment, testing, database, application deployment, integration. So the things which are related to the development of the application, integrating the application, deploying the application to the cloud. So all these things are mentioned in the platform as a service, and as consumers are there which consumes the infrastructure as a service from the cloud service consumers, and they normally access the storage, service management, platform hosting, compute system. Okay, so these are the things which are here in this. Okay, these are the things which are accessed by the infrastructure as a service consumers, and SaaS consumers normally access the already deployed hosted applications in the cloud computing system, like the CRM, sales, billing system, ERP, human resource, social network, financial, content management, email, and office productivity. So all these applications are accessed by the SaaS consumer in cloud computing. So the SaaS consumers can be built based on the number of end users. So this is the one important thing which you may note down. So SaaS, in this slide we will also see how the different consumers may be charged, or how the estimation of the service charges may be done in each service computing model. Okay, so SaaS consumers can be built based upon the number of users who are using the particular service, and another factor may be which may be there on the basis of time of the use, and apart from this, the network bandwidth which they have consumed may be the another factor, and the another thing is that which may be estimated or which may be considered for estimating the service charge, the amount of data which they have stored, or the duration of the data which they have stored. So these are the several factors which you may note down to design the application for the billing purpose in the software as a service. So you may develop your application on the basis of these factors. Okay, so SaaS consumers are normally built based upon these factors which are uh, estimated, which are considered for estimating the service charge to the consumers. So past consumers are there, and past consumers normally access or they design and implement the softwares or the cloud, and they test that application, they run that application, and uh, they again publish to that application to the cloud. So several uh, activities are done by the service provider. Sorry, first consumers over the platform as a service cloud, and the past consumers may be billed or may be charged based upon the processing which they have made, and they may also be charged on the basis of database storage and network resources consumed by the past application and the duration of the platform usage. And not only this, but one more factor may be there. So number of APIs or amount of library which they have consumed. So these some micro factors may be there to effectively build the charges of the service consumers. Okay, so these are the some factors which you may note down in order to build your own application for the cloud computing services. So that application may uh, prepare a bill for the consumers on the behalf of these factors, and how these factors will be considered. Your application must have the monitoring process to monitor all these factors in the cloud computing system. So your application should have the effective resource monitoring process, and after properly monitoring all these factors, you may estimate the cost of the services by considering the base factor of the service charge. Okay, so like if you are going to uh, estimate the past consumers on the basis of uh, duration of platform usage. So suppose that if you are saying that we will charge on the basis of number of hours how they are used, and per hour we will charge $10. Okay, so you may multiply $10 with the 1 hour. So for 1 hour there will be the charge $10 charge, and if cloud consumer have consumed the services for the 10 hours, then definitely there will be the $100 for the 10-hour services. So you may consider all these uh, factors to design your own application, and you can again publish to your application to the cloud computing system. So SaaS consumer is there, as consumer is there, which is which those access the as or infrastructure as a service from the cloud service providers, and they normally access the uh, virtual server, computing power, storage power, networking bandwidths, and the networking components. So as consumers basically consumes those services which are related to the actual infrastructure. And the question is that how the as consumers may be billed or may be charged. So these consumers or the as consumers may be charged according to the amount or the duration of resource which they have consumed. So this one is the uh, factor which you may consider to design your application for the service uh, consumer. So which kind of factor you can consider further in this in, like you may monitor the CPU hours which is used or which is consumed by the consumers. So CPU hours used by the virtual computers, and the volume and the duration of the data storage or data stored, and the another factor, the network bandwidth which they have consumed. So network bandwidth may be the another factor that you may consider to design or to build the application. And number of IP addresses may be there which may be used for these certain intervals. So several factors are there which you may consider for designing the infrastructure as a service. And the cloud service provider is there, which is responsible for acquiring, managing the computing infrastructure, and you know the computing infrastructure required for providing the services runs the cloud software that provide the services, makes arrangement to deliver the cloud services to the cloud consumer through the network access. So SaaS providers. Okay, so let me tell you, till now we have talked about the cloud provider. So here we are saying that cloud provider is just a person or entity or an organization who provides you services. But the cloud service providers, क्या सिखा रहा है क्या करूँगा फिर सडन रीजन का
Yes.
are also categorized on the basis of IaaS consumer. So we have the SaaS provider, PaaS provider, and the IaaS cloud provider. So SaaS provider deploy, configures, maintains, updates the operation of the software applications on the cloud infrastructure, and SaaS provider maintains the expected service levels to the cloud consumer. And PaaS provider is there, manage the computing infrastructure for platform and components like the runtime software, execution stack, database, and the middleware. So SaaS as provider, as cloud provider is there, which provides the physical hardware, cloud software that makes the provisioning of these infrastructure services like the physical server, network equipment, storage devices, host, operating system, and the hypervisors for the virtualization. So all these things are managed by and provided by the SaaS cloud service provider. So cloud service provider have the different roles or the responsibilities like the service deployment, service orchestration, service cloud service management, and providing the uh, security and privacy things to your application or the data. So cloud service deployment is there. Cloud service provider deploy the services, data centers, and the services. Then services are provided to the cloud consumer. So cloud service provider deploy the services for the cloud consumer, And after deploying the and enabling the services, the cloud service provider is also responsible for service orchestration, where the services are being please hold. ये क्या है, मैं लगा दिया यार, मेरी ड्यूटी आपने। मैं इन्विजिलेशन का काम करूंगा। चलो तो ठीक है गुरुजी।
देखो ना, फिर किसमें लिखो नाम आपका?
चलो ये भी है, अगर आदमी नहीं बचा
नहीं तो फिर
माइक। अच्छा चलो। Okay, so service provider is responsible for the service orchestration, where the services are continually enabled for the service consumers without the system failure. And service management is there, which in which the services are managed by the service provider. So all the resources and services are provided by the service provider, managed by the service provider. Security and privacy things are there, which are considered by the okay, which are provided by the service provider. So cloud auditor is there that audits uh, and verify the conformance of the standards, and the cloud auditor basically evaluates the security controls, privacy impact, and the performance. And auditing is especially important for the uh, federal agencies, and not only for the federal agencies, but auditing is the main important process, which is तमीज़ है क्या? So cloud broker is there, which is responsible for the integration of the cloud services. And after integration of the services, those services are enabled to the cloud consumers. So the general or the responsibilities of service cloud broker are the service intermediation, service aggregation, and service arbitrage. So cloud broker enhance its services by improving the capability and providing the value-added services to the consumers. And the improvement can be managing access to the cloud services, identity management, and the performance reporting enhanced by security. So all these things are done inside the uh, service intermediation, and service aggregation is there, where broker combines and integrates the multiple services into one or more new services. And the broker provides the data integration and ensure the secure data movement. So service aggregation is there, and service arbitrage is there. It is similar to the service aggregation with the flexibility to choose services from multiple agencies. Okay, so service arbitrage is there, service aggregation is there, and service intermediation is there. So cloud carrier is there. So cloud carrier is responsible for transporting the services, or it provide the access to the consumers through the internet. Okay, the services are provided to the consumers through the internet, telecommunication, and through the other access devices. So uh, for example, cloud consumers can obtain the cloud services through the network access device, such as computers, laptops, mobile phones, mobile internet, mobile internet devices. So distribution of cloud services is normally provided by the network and the telecommunication carriers and transport agent. So where the transport agent refers to the business organization that provides the physical transport of the storage media, such as high capacity drives. Okay, so Google, Amazon is also use these high capacity drives, and formerly those high capacity drives are known as the Bookit. So these hard drives are just used for transporting the data from one end to the another end, and the high volume of data is uh, shifted from one end to the another end by using these high capacity drives. So cloud provider can set up SLA with the cloud carrier to provide the services consistent with the level of service SLA provide to the consumer. Okay, so participants, anything you want to ask, you may ask please. Then we will continue all these rest of the things tomorrow. You may ask please if you want to ask something.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, tomorrow I have class or not?
Yes,
Uh,
instead of Sunday, now we will continue this class on Saturday. Okay, so Sunday will be off. Okay, so participants, you all of you, you are requested. Please join the class on Saturday instead of Sunday. So we will continue this class on Saturday. Okay, from Monday to Saturday. Okay, and your Sunday will be off. Okay, everyone.
okay.
Okay. so it is not mandatory. But I will upload it. No, 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 no. Yes, yes, yes. On Saturday, Saturday. Yes, yes, yes. If any change will be there, I will drop the message accordingly. Okay.
तो मतलब करोगे अगर ये सिद्धांत रहेगी ठीक है
अरे यार क्या,
सब ठीक है
अरे मुझे मुझे मत बोलो भैया। पागल आदमी हो एक नंबर के।
तो फिर मैं नहीं जा सकता हूँ कि तेरे स्टार्ट में तो जो करना है कर इससे सब लोग ठीक होने पड़ती है एक के बराबर है लाइट से चालू पसंद है ना वो भाई काफी हंसी तुम्हें
ठीक है।
this month was last month. दो कैंडिडेट कम हो गए एक में एक को आज फिर हम लोग जो दिया ना किया है ये सोचिए every office, office.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.